If I was a flower growing wild and free, all I'd want is you to be my sweet honeybee. And if I was a tree growing tall and green, all I'd want is you to shade me and be my leaves.
It's a bit thick, Papa.
It's a bit weird, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit weird.
I wasn't expecting to just come in or begin. I thought I'd have like reception, sit down and reception.
All I'd want is you to be my sweet honeybee. And if I was a tree growing tall and green, all I'd want is you to shade me and be my leaves. All I want is you, will you be my bride? Take me by the hand and stand by my side. All I want is
I
you.
call upon these persons,
Here present to witness
here present to witness,
that I, Jasmine Elle Moody,
that I, Jasmine Elle Moody,
do take the Elle Rose upshore
do take the Elle Rose upshore
to be my lawful wedded wife,
to be my lawful wedded wife,
To be my lawful wedded wife.
to love, cherish and care for you,
To love, cherish and care for you.
now and for the rest of my life.
Now and for the rest of my life.
When the cold winds blow, all I want is you. Will you be my bride? Take me by the hand and stand by my side. All I want is you. Will you stay with me? Hold me in your arms and sway me like the sea. If you were a wink, I'd be a nod. If you were a seed, well, I'd be a pod. If you were a floor, I'd want to be the rug. And if you were a kiss, I'd know.
Where are we going now then? 'Cause it's only 11:30.
Is it only?
Yeah.
Take me by the hand
Yeah.
and stand by my side.
It only took a
All I
couple of
want is
minutes.
you. Will you stay with me? Hold me in your arms and sway me like the sea. If you were the wood, I'd be the fire. If you were the love, I'd be the desire. If you were a castle, I'd be your moat. And if you were an ocean, I'd learn to float.
Spook the wood, bury the sausage. Good weather and
And
blessed.
stand by my side. All I want is you. Will you stay with me? Hold me in your arms and sway me like the sea.
For those that aren't lucky enough to know me, I'm Elle's. You've probably seen me, I'm the videographer. I'm actually Jazz and Elle's personal life videographer. I kind of follow them around and capture all their magical moments. But I won't actually be taking responsibility for the engagement video. I was not there, that's why it's on the ground. I was fuming at that. I'm obviously normally filming speeches like this, but for once I'm on the other side of the lens. Hello. This isn't my idea of fun. So I'll never actually mock a bad speech again. And if this is shit, I'll just edit myself out.
Every weekend, you're the only one to call my best friend. Anywhere you go, you never be alone. I'll ride by your side. I wouldn't trade it like we're related. You're the only one to call my best friend. When we're together, no one does it better. You're my best friend.
We, and when I say we, I mean my incredible partner Steph, who has been photographing you all day. We've actually known Jazz and Elle for 3 years, so it's truly an honour to actually be asked to speak on your big day. Actually feels weird calling them Jazz and Elle, because I call them Jazzy Fizzle and Papa. It has obviously been a really, really low-key year for Jazz and Elle. They've been planning a wedding, you know, several promotions, planning their move to Stroud, and also planning a really small and unpopular event, which took place last month. We met Jazzy and Papa at the first ever queer campfire. So we actually sat up until 4 a.m. that night, talking about the deepest parts of our little queer lives, and looking back on it now, I can truly say that's when we fell in love. I also know now, looking back, that it must have been love because, sorry Dad, like fuck are we all staying up until 4 a.m. nowadays? Our nights together now end with a cup of decaf tea and bed before midnight. Steph and I, as well as a few others here, with actually some of the OGs from that first ever queer campfire. And there was just 50 of us just sitting in a field, singing along to Grace Petrie songs, playing through someone's phone, I'm pretty sure. And this year we saw Jazz and Elle scale that event to 400 people. Which... Oh no, that's not the best bit. In case you didn't know, Grace Petrie headlined that. I actually wrote, I think that alone deserves a round of applause. How funny.
Come here, wifey. We got married.
We got married.
Unless you've actually had the honour of going to the Queer Campfire, you won't truly know the magnitude of what these two amazing people have created. It is such a bloody sacred, special place, and I, for one, am truly grateful that you decided to create it. This year, though, you've obviously made the decision that this will be your last event, and I know I speak on behalf of myself and the entire bloody community when I say it will be a very, very, very sad day to see the Queer Campfire running without you two behind it. You really are such beautiful, special, special people, and so many people, like throughout the day, it's just been a resounding message. So you can just watch this film whenever you're feeling sad or insecure, like you got no friends. Everyone loves you. What you've achieved in the last 3 years is more than some of us can hope to achieve in a lifetime, so well done. It's also worth noting that it was only 10 years ago that LGBTQ marriage was legalised in the UK. So as far as history goes, today is a fucking big deal.
Yes!
This is disgusting.
You're doing well, Ben.
Thanks, Bo. Days like today, they're incredibly special because we do still have a long way to go for equal rights for the LGBTQ+ community. All of us queer folk here in the room grew up not thinking that we're actually going to be able to marry the person that we love. It wasn't a reality to us. So long may we continue being able to marry the person we love most in the world. And on that note, I'd like to hand over to the person I love most in the world, bar Jazzy and Papa, who's going to finish this with a short poem written by an amazing queer poet, Whitney Hanson. And also because Elle loves poetry so much.
They say that sometimes love starts with a spark, and that might be true. But if I were to wish you a love, I wouldn't wish fire for you. You see, fire is powerful. It burns bright and it's gone. It's beautiful and warm, but it doesn't last long. So instead of wishing you a love that burns, I wish you love like a river that twists and turns. It changes and flows, it's powerful and free, but it consistently finds its way back to the sea. And so, like the water, I hope your love is ever growing, ever changing. I hope your love is powerful and free, and may you always find each other like the river finds the sea. To Jazz and Elle.
Oh, stop it.
Have you two got your like Range Rover bag?
I used to buy her Elle, which was her, yeah.
You're so handsome. I know, babe. Well, it's be a bit incestuous.
No, you're doing great. Okay. There you go. Okay, great.
Choose these shoes next. Let me sit down.
Yeah.
I know.
So this little number. Oh, darling. Oh, darling. Don't look at me. Sure don't.
This one's for you. And this, do you remember what I said? This is from Mum and Dad's rings, and it's got Mum's diamonds in it. Do you want me to put it on?
There you go.
It's a clean bit.
Soft kitchen roll.
It's better than that tissue that you just tried to use.
Tissue paper. It was harsh.
I'm often asked what it's like being a twin, and I always answer that having a twin is a blessing, but what I really mean is that having a Jazz is a blessing. So what does it mean to have a Jazz? It means you're guaranteed moments of playful silliness. It means your cheeks will ache from laughing at jokes that only she could have crafted. It means there's someone who understands exactly how you're feeling and why with a single glance. It means you feel fiercely loved and protected at all times. It means you grow to embrace all aspects of yourself because that's what she does. It also means that you'll be challenged with would you rathers. They get increasingly more absurd until you finally agree that yes, fine, you'd rather wear nothing but chaps for the rest of your life. It means you have to name your imaginary pup, the gangly arms for Jazz, the lie-in for me. And it also means that sometimes you have to do things that you don't want to do because Jazz wants to do them. For example, when Jazz got short red hair, I had to get a fringed bowl cut to participate in the shared photo shoot. When Jazz lived out her dream of driving a Ferrari around a racetrack, I had to drive a tank around a muddy field to make sure that we were even. And when Jazz wanted a moped, I had to get one too, so that we could commute to school together in one embarrassing convoy. Jazz, what I love most about you is that wherever you go, you naturally create a sense of fun. People let loose with you because you never take yourself too seriously. You draw out anyone's silly side judgment-free. I believe real happiness is just a collection of small moments like these, and you offer them in abundance to all of us who are lucky enough to be around you. I don't know what I'd do without you, though we do like to torture ourselves once every few months with the reminder that we won't pass away at the exact same second as one another. I love you so much, and that's why it's been one of my greatest joys watching you find your soulmate in Elle. Elle, in you I found a best friend and another sister. You're deeply grounding for those close to you because you prioritise being honest and candid in all your relationships. I think you're the most truly open-minded person I know, and with that comes a sense that anyone can be themselves around you. And in turn, while I know there have been painful moments on the way, it's been so warming to watch you increasingly own who you are and the comfort that that's brought you. But more importantly than all of that, there's nobody that I'd rather scream along to Olivia Rodrigo's songs with, despite the fact you don't have any teenage boyfriends to speak of. So, while it seems unlikely that anyone will ever ask me what it's like to have a sister-in-law, if they were to, I would tell them that having an Elle is a blessing. Jazz and Elle, you've achieved so much alongside one another, not least creating a space that's been life-changing for so many with the Queer Campfire, and I couldn't be prouder of you both. It may seem that what you naturally bring to me is mundane in comparison, but I can't imagine a life without the comfort of our silly little chit-chats. Elle's list of business ideas. Jazz brainstorming her latest adventure plans. Elle crushing Jazz's latest adventure plans with a dose of realism. Jazz trying to pitch Vinny as the cutest cat in the household. And Elle despairing as she finds another pop culture reference neither Jazz nor I will ever understand. When I spend time with you both, I feel at home. And whenever I leave thinking, I want to be more like Jazz and Elle. I truly think your relationship together is a blueprint on how to love. All of us that know you see so clearly that you have a deep, unwavering respect for one another. And together you create fun wherever you go, and a space that's so clearly comforting to one another. And the thing that I admire most about the two of you is how deliberate you are in creating the life that you want together. From where you live, to the type of home you create, to your careers, to seeking out your queer family, you really chase what you want. So I'd like to ask everyone to raise their glasses and toast to your married life, continuing to be the product of your own intentional, joyful design.
Oh my God!
Stop, that's so cute. Oh my God, that's really cute. Stop it.
Right, we're ready. We should have played a song.
There's unwritten on
Should we sing one? And a blank page before you, open up a dirty window.
And the sun illuminates the lights that you cannot find reaching on something. Oh my God!
When someone talks about growing up together like we have, I don't think that really does justice to what we've done. From all the different walks of life we've been on, we've been by each other's side for all of it. It feels like we've done more than just grow up, but I don't really know how else to describe it. And the biggest part of what we have done is how much you have taught us. When we look back at how we used to rip into you because you didn't wear the bodycon dresses, which I know is hard to imagine, and you didn't draw on your eyebrows, but we just had no clue then, even a fraction of what we do now. And I think when we look back, we were like, it's almost like we were a bit actually oblivious to who you truly were. Thank God that just being you has actually taught us so much. And I think that's made us all grow so much more. The start of you becoming you, for me, seemed to begin when I came and saw you at Leeds and you shaved your hair. And I think doing that for Auntie Tracy was just as much of a big deal for her as it was for doing it for yourself. It was from that moment, I think you've just kept flourishing into exactly who you are meant to be. And looking at you now, we just couldn't be more proud.
Standing here, I feel incredibly lucky saying that my school friends are still my best friends. You all continue to be a big part of my life. All of us growing up, miles apart, living our own grown-up lives. But we never actually grow apart because we're all still the same when we do come together. Like that stupid sleepover we had last night. Ellie and I don't ever show affection to each other. I don't think we've even hugged today, to be honest. So this is the perfect time to express how utterly proud I am of you for being so brave and fearless and to continuously be yourself. From silly school years to moments of vulnerability, we've had the pleasure of watching you grow into the individual you are today. We are so incredibly happy for you to have found someone as perfect for you as Jazz, and we wish you nothing but love and happiness together.
To kind of sum up what we've been trying to say is that you are our home. Your whole family became our home for such a long time and will always be our home. For all the gatherings that we had and all the times of need where we felt like there was nowhere else to go for so many different reasons for all of us. Like was said before, that door was always open. My biggest hope now is that my baby will one day have the absolute privilege of finding a friend like you that gives them a home like you are for all of us. We feel so lucky to have you in our lives, and being here on your wedding day feels more special than anything we have ever been a part of so far in our journey together. Nobody deserves the kind of happiness more than both of you. And we love you guys.
Okay, you'll be glad to hear I'm not going to waffle on for hours. Oh, I'm glad. Instead, I'm just going to ask Ellie a question. Now, unfortunately, this has been answered earlier on in the speeches earlier, which has buggered my whole speech up, really, but it's probably not the most politically correct question. But if you're honest, if you're all honest, it's the one you're really asking. And it's not about your haircut, Elle. How on earth did you manage to land someone as beautiful, intelligent, caring, warm, and perfect as Jasmine? Bugger, how you done it? No idea how you done it. However she managed it, Jazz, we are eternally grateful. The love and happiness she has found, and with bringing you into our family, has made us so proud. As you well know, whenever Ellie decides to do something, she always gives it 100%. This isn't a funny bit. This is me being compassionate, please. She always throws 100%, throws her heart and soul into it, and in the words of the song, get this, it's slightly changed. Girls, you're going to be so happy. Girls, you're going to be just fine.
And you will love, and you'll be loved, and you're in black tie tonight. Get a postcard to my year 11 self in a year 11 hell. Darling, everything's gonna be alright. No, you won't grow out of it. You will find clothes that fit, and the images that fucked you were a patriarchal structure. No, you never will surrender to that narrow view of gender. And there's folks you've yet to meet, but you're exactly up their street, and they've been waiting just as long to hear someone sing this song. The better days are on their way, when it won't matter what they say. On the labels, on the doors, you will figure out what's yours. And girl, you're gonna be so happy.
I've done something today which a lot of mothers don't get to do, which is walk my daughter down the aisle to make her vows with Elle. So forgive me if there's tears. I knew at this point there would be. I can assure you that they're happy ones, and that I'm incredibly proud to be here with all of you today to celebrate this amazing union. So thank you for allowing me to be your mum. It's a love no one can explain, that never changes with time. You lift my heart every time you're near me, and I can honestly say you light up the room. Today, you look radiant, the perfect bride in every way.
Feels like a song. Watch how the sun it creeps in, hanging straight out the window, getting high on a winter's morning, waking up stoned here in my home, right where I belong, blazing by the mistletoe. I'm not missing Christmas this year, it's all December long.
My name is Louise Gather, and it's an honour to gather you here today for the wedding of Elle and Jazz, as we celebrate the love between this fantastic couple. To Elle's parents, Jazz's mum, Sheena, and their sisters, Lucy and Millie, for helping them through life in general, as well as through wedding planning. Because who knew that planning a wedding just a month after hosting a large-scale weekend camping event would be stressful? Who'd have thought it? So why are they doing it? Well, although Elle had always seen marriage as something she wanted, Jazz had always been quite adamant that it wasn't for her, and that there was no need to put a legal label on their relationship. But she's realised now that marriage isn't a trap. Instead, it's the most humbling thing that someone can ask of you. They're excited to share and celebrate their journey with you on their wedding day. It's important to remember, though, that getting married is not the biggest day of your life. All the days you get to have are big and worth celebrating. especially as a queer couple for whom marriage wasn't always an option. Woo! Yeah! They look forward to a day where true marriage equality exists for everyone, anywhere in the world. And they cite the wonderful community they found in the queer campfire as an influence in their decision. Like the timeless tradition of gathering around a campfire, a wedding gathers people together, providing warmth, connection, unity, storytelling, and a sense of belonging. But how did they come to be here today? How do any two people go from being strangers to being the most important people in each other's lives? It's a story that few of you will know in full. There's definitely going to be some secrets unearthed. So it was 2014, and Jazz and Elle were on the same course at the same university together. It was their first year, and they're both trying to find their feet. As well as sharing classes, they would occasionally hang out on campus for lunch and a bit of studying, and they became friends. Despite that time that Jazz and a group of fellow course mates excluded Elle from a group project out of fear that Elle would bring down the grade. Let it be known for the record that Elle's group project got 2 grades higher. Not that they're still bitter or anything. Despite this, Jazz remembers thinking that Elle seemed so grounded, authentic, and utterly hilarious. Elle, in turn, remembers thinking that Jazz was a bit of a plain Jane. And in retrospect, Jazz agrees, because she was really trying to look like that cookie-cutter business student in her blazer and jeans. Classic corporate girly. She also admits at this point that she was cosplaying as a straight girl. She was so committed to the bit, she had an actual real-life boyfriend. But Jazz remembers the first time that someone mentioned that Elle was queer. It was like a light went on inside her head. Suddenly, Jazz couldn't stop thinking about her and felt an intense desire to be Elle's BFF. Second year started, and what do you know? Jazz just happened to be single. A few weeks into term, she was sitting on the loo, waiting to go to a class on organisational behaviour, when a Facebook message from Elle came through, asking if they could come round that night. Jazz played it cool, invited her round for spag ball, where Elle regaled the group with the ups and downs they were having with their current partner, but also ended up getting everyone debating, questioning, and laughing. Jazz felt quietly chuffed to have brought someone so vibrant into their group. They ended up squished next to each other on the sofa in the dingy basement lounge. And Jazz felt for the first time that she might like to be more than just BFFs. But remember, at this point, Elle still viewed Jazz. Freudian slip. Elle still viewed Jazz as a plain Jane straight girl. There we go. Soon afterwards, in the smoking area on a night out, Jazz decided to subtly express her interest by drunkenly declaring, "I'd be your girlfriend if I was gay." They both laughed it off, but from that point, Jazz couldn't stop thinking about Elle and repeated this sentiment on every night out afterwards. She'd look forward to lectures purely so she could see Elle and maybe get lunch or go to the pub afterwards. By October 2015, they were both single. Jazz was done with being overwhelmingly obsessed with this person and doing nothing about it. They crossed paths on the stairs at a house party, and Jazz decided enough was enough. She drunkenly begged Elle for a kiss. Elle didn't really believe her and didn't want to take advantage of someone so obviously inebriated. But in the end, there was no choice. Jazz's begging got so desperate that Elle stormed up the stairs and kissed her, just to shut her up. They spent the next few weeks and months sneaking around pretending to be just good friends. They both loved cheese and crackers. And inviting each other round for a cheese board became a code word for their alone time together. They were only found out when they were so smitten that they could no longer hide their silly smirks and flirting from friends. After a year of seeing how it goes and trying not to put a label on things, Jazz was heading off to study in France. They had a long chat by Nipton Reservoir and spoke about their options for hours before deciding to give long distance a go. The weeks apart were hard, but helped to teach them independence too. Jazz fondly remembers the time she was sitting outside having a picnic with classmates and looked up to see that Elle had flown out for a surprise visit. When Jazz returned home, they lived together for the first time with friends, tackling their exams and dissertations together, using all of Jazz's military-style revision tactics. And their house also became the depot for Jazz's first business, Mood. They've experienced so much together since then, exploring Slovenia and Croatia in Elle's tiny Berlingo, and spending the night in what they called a murder loft. Those nights crammed into the back of the Berlingo lit a passion for Elle, who then decided to convert a Berlingo for them with her Grumpsy, and then launched Clock Off Campers, their own conversion business. Starting their grad jobs and moving in together in Nottingham, making the huge commitment of becoming the stereotypical crazy cat gaze by getting a cat together, the iconic Gus, who has a special bond with Elle, and then adding to the family with Vinny, aka Baby Gus, a few years later, who is Jazz's little baby, but is often overlooked because, let's face it, he's just not Gus. Gus helped to keep them sane when lockdown hit, and although it was a scary time, it ended up being pretty life-changing for them. The hours spent building camper vans together in the sun, drinking Thatcher's Rose cider, brought them even closer, and Elle took the leap to running the camper business full-time. Jazz was so proud of Elle and such a support, helping out in the workshop until midnight, despite working the 9 to 5. Jazz supported Elle through the disappointment of realising that the business wasn't sustainable, but it ended up leading them to their next and biggest passion project, the Queer Campfire. It was a brave move, and they've gone from strength to strength since the first year, when they just invited a load of random strangers to join them in a field down the road from home. As it's developed, so have they, finding friends they never knew they were missing and being able to find their true identities while creating a truly beautiful space to celebrate queer joy in all its forms. They appreciate that their lives appear quite chaotic from the outside. They rarely have a free weekend and are always juggling a million projects, but life together still somehow feels calm and on track, and they always make time for watching crime dramas with the boys on their laps, non-negotiable sofa time, traipsing around car boot sales, for ridiculous bargains, and chatting in the bath. And the bath is probably the only time they're likely to be in water together. Because Elle loves to be in and around water, Jazz is convinced that any body of water could potentially be hiding a shark within it. And they've got other differences too. Jazz loves a jump scare. So a couple of years in, Elle had to sit Jazz down and have a really serious conversation and admit that she'd become a bit of an emotional wreck because she was constantly on edge, waiting for Jazz to suddenly burst out of some random place around the house. They're yin and yang. Elle has a sweet tooth, is logical, a planner, a methodical researcher, and a realist. Or, according to Jazz, a pessimist who always expects the worst case scenario. Jazz loves savoury, is impulsive, looks on the bright side, is led by her heart, and is the chaos to Elle's calm. Itineraries planned by Jazz will not take into account any realistic timings or factor in travel times and distances between activities. Jazz likes to keep everyone happy and avoid rocking the boat. This means they work as a great team, though. Elle's in charge of the Queer Campfire risk assessment, and Jazz does the fun stuff. Elle, Jazz was, of course, obsessed with you right from the start. But she knew you were the one when you remembered she had mentioned a certain confectionery item, which had been her favourite as a kid, but that she hadn't seen for years. That Christmas, you had an entire case full of hundreds of Milky Way crispy rolls delivered. And Jazz realised that you not only listened to all her silly little stories and memories, you were also hearing them. She loves your soft, gentle, friendly, lovely eyes. And your hair, especially when you've had a fresh trim and are looking particularly handsome, like today. She appreciates that you will anticipate that her sense of direction will fail her, and you'll supervise her journey progress on Find My Friends, so that you can ring and give solutions when she hits those roadworks and disruptions that your worst case scenario brain just knew were going to crop up. She loves you despite the amount of socks and crumbs you leave in your wake. And that you take so long to unpack that your suitcase becomes part of the furniture. She's accepted that she can't come into your office because it's far too overwhelming. She's come to expect that your garage has become a complete graveyard for hobbies. Darts, whittling, cross-stitch, knitting. I could go on. Because you find a new interest, buy all the kit, become obsessed with it, want to make it into a business, and then abandon it forever. But she'll forever be impressed with how you can make dreams a reality and how you push her to achieve her own goals. When she's feeling introverted or like her opinion doesn't matter, she pushes herself to be more Elle. She loves that you're so great with people, always make everyone feel safe and seen, and can crack any shell to figure them out, usually by asking where they were on 9/11. Almost like you're accusing them of being involved somehow. You do sometimes come out with some questionable opinions. So she's relieved that you're not on social media, because you definitely end up taking your role as devil's advocate too far and getting yourself cancelled. But you're just so incredibly loving and supportive, emotionally and physically. You were Jazz's first experience of feeling all-encompassing lust and love. You made her realise what having a crush on someone should feel like. After many years of compulsory heteronormativity, she was so happy she finally let her heart lead the way, because it led her to you. You let her be her authentic self, unapologetically. The good, the bad, the silly Billy, and the ugly. I think we might need that. There we go. Right, Jazz, it's your turn, so it's only going to get worse. Elle adores your whole look, your style, your trademark hair, your cute nose and eyes. Although you had to force that first kiss, it didn't take Elle long to realise that you were something truly special. Way back on one of your first ever weekends away, on a boiling hot day at Bristol Balloon Fiesta, Elle remembers wishing that she had a ring to propose with while you were watching the hundreds of balloons taking off. You're the kindest, most generous person she knows. You're so incredibly empathetic and make other people's pain your own. Unless it's Elle's pain. When she's ill. Because your absolute lack of care and compassion when Elle is sick never fails to astound. Apparently that's a common trait in all of the moody women. And Elle has come to accept that they'll never be babied when they're ill like they want to be. Elle loves you despite the fact that your tidying could be best described as hiding, because you just make the place look tidy by shoving everything into a drawer. Elle loves your silliness, dad jokes and puns, but also knows that despite the cutesy exterior, you can be quite savage and cutting behind closed doors. But that's a side to you that only Elle gets to see. She's in awe of your ability to build relationships and form connections. An absolute powerhouse, a boss-ass bitch, who was always destined to be a CEO by 32. With such passion about everything from fancy dress to LGBTQ+ rights. Elle knows that difficult times will come and go, but you will always be a constant. You push her to be her best self, whether that's by working her like a dog at uni to get good grades, or encouraging her to learn more about who she is. Above all, you make Elle feel completely seen and understood. You just get her through and through. Those big dreams are made to feel achievable with you by Elle's side, and you've never made her feel delusional for wanting what she wants. So with a home, the cats and the campfire all ticked off the list, Elle thought it was about time to make their family official and put a ring on it. It was a crisp, sunny Saturday in October 2022 when they finally had a quiet weekend together. Jazz sat having breakfast with a cup of tea in the sun and realised that she'd never felt so happy. So she said so, out loud. Little did she know that Elle was about to make things even better. She also didn't know that Elle wasn't feeling quite the same. Instead, Elle felt quite sick and was in panic mode because it had already been decided that today was going to be the day. The lead-up had been quite stressful, including a lost wallet which held a ticket from the jewellers, proving ownership of the engagement ring that was being resized. Elle was convinced it had been thrown out in a tip run and that the jewellers would refuse to hand over the ring. Jazz couldn't understand why Elle was so upset about losing a cheap TK Maxx wallet and even went out and bought a replacement, which obviously didn't solve the problem. Eventually it turned up down the back of a cabinet, although the people at the tip had continued to search for it for several weeks. Elle had decided on a low-key proposal in that same random field by the Dirty Duck where they'd hosted the first campfire. Jazz suggested going out, as she had cabin fever after a busy week, and Elle mentioned that her mum, also known as Merm, wanted a new photo of the two of them to put on the cupboard. So when they head out, looking nice, and with the camera and self-timer, Jazz isn't suspicious at all. On the walk, however, Elle is very quiet. Elle is never quiet. Something must be wrong. Are they about to break up? Have they finally run out of conversation after 6 years? Jazz tries to get a conversation going. She even resorts to talking about interest rates at one point. But Elle is giving her nothing. Elle is too nervous. Eventually they stop at a bench near a wooden bridge, and Elle props the camera up against a bottle to try and secretly capture what happens next. Jazz is faffing with her hair, and then realises that Elle is down on one knee with a ring. They're both on the floor sobbing and can't remember anything that was said other than a yes. And unfortunately, the camera can't tell us either because it fell over as soon as Elle got to one knee, and none of it was documented. But luckily, Jazz quite likes that it became a moment just for the two of them that exists only in their memories.
Elle, I knew I had to be a part of your life the moment I met you. Little did I know you'd become the most important part of my story 9 years on. I noticed so many things about you when we first met. They're things that I didn't know I was looking for, but now I couldn't live without. I love your brilliantly chaotic brain. I'm so lucky to be let into just a fraction of what goes on in there. I'm in awe of your patience with the world as it catches up with you. I love how you've grounded yourself in your authenticity. It's the real Elle or nothing. I love how you can be the most pessimistic about the world, but you couldn't be more optimistic about what I'm capable of. I love how you've given me the space to learn who I really am. And I love the family and the chosen family that we have found together, Vinny included. People always say find someone who is 1 in a million. I think everyone who knows you will agree that there is no number of souls on this earth where I'd find another Elle option. So as the person lucky enough to become your wife, I make these promises to you. I promise to believe in you as much as you believe in me. I promise to stand by you no matter what life throws at us and no matter what wild challenges we throw at ourselves as well. I promise I'll be your wingwoman on car boot Sundays until we're grey and old. And I promise to bring you cheese and onion crisps when you're ill, and to bring you water when you're homesick. I can't promise that I'll always take the right route without a map, but I promise to always have your voice in my head, guiding me safely home to you. I promise to be right beside you as the rest of the world figures you out. And if that takes a lifetime, I'll be there at the end with you.
Oh my gosh.
Hand it over.
I've got another one. Jazz, I can't believe 9 years after saying, let's just see how it goes, we're here today surrounded by so many people we love. In those 9 years, it feels like we have already lived a million lives, with one constant, unfaltering thing: we lived them side by side. Never once has life felt off track since you came into it. You have helped me find who I am and love that person unconditionally. Since day one, you have calmed my chaos. I love that I can count on you to trust my madness and to bring some of your own. I love the way you light up a room with the silliest of jokes, but most of all, I love that you give 110% to anyone that is blessed with your presence. Even though you... God, fucking hell. Even though you still don't know which way to turn out the driveway to simply get to the corner shop. You are the most intelligent, generous, loving, authentic, and witty best friend and partner I could ever dream of marrying. I cannot wait for what unknown lives and adventures await us. Whatever it will be, I know that each day of those lives will end on the sofa with a crime drama, burrito, and unsuccessful cuddles with our cats. So today, surrounded by the people who mean the most to us, I make these vows to you. I promise to make sure we continue living our life together as our authentic selves. I promise to always bring you something back from the car boot. I promise to not only follow you on any adventure you take us on, but to embrace it. I promise to make you CEO of my inevitable multi-million-pound business idea. I promise to remind you every day how special you truly are and to cherish you and every second I get with you. And finally, I promise to make every day feel like a Sunday.
Okay, so those vows will now be sealed with a ring exchange, with the rings acting as daily reminders of the vows that you have made today. So who has the rings, please? Okay, so actually one of you does have the rings, you just don't know it yet. So Jazz and Elle wanted a way to show that all of you here today play a part in their marriage and might be called upon to provide guidance, support or input in times of need, just like this one. So, beneath one of your seats, you will find the rings. If you could all have a little look. Jazz, do you give this ring to Elle as a reminder of the vows you've made today?
I do.
And Elle, do you accept this ring as a symbol of your commitment to Jazz?
I do.
You can put the ring on. Oh my gosh. Perfect. And if you can do the same with Jazz's ring, please. Elle, do you give this ring to Jazz as a reminder of the vows you've made today?
I do.
And Jazz, do you accept this ring as a symbol of your commitment to Elle?
I do.
There we go. Up top.
Too keen.
Lovely. So with your vows made and rings exchanged, we would love you to share a kiss, please. Woo!
Where it began, I can't begin to knowing, but then I know.
And now it's the moment you've all been waiting for. Because as you know, they couldn't decide which way to double barrel their name. And you all voted on your RSVPs, so I have the results here. So, the nominees are the Upshall Moodies, or the Moody Upshalls, and the winner is, with with 29 votes to 24. The optional Moody!
Don't seem so lonely. We fill it up with only two. And when I hurt, hurting runs off my shoulders. How can I hurt when holding you? One touching warm, reaching out, touching Sweet Caroline, the times never seem so good.
There's so much competition. I think we overordered.
Everyone say, I'm sure Moody! I'm sure Moody!
Jasmine has been a driving force behind the Queer Campfire, creating some magical moments for all those lucky enough to attend. Which, believe me, I've tried every year and she's refused to let me come.
Same.
This has brought, well, that's next year then, isn't it? Unfortunately, it's not happening. This has brought a new group of friends into their lives and ones which will last for a lifetime. Welcome the Queer Gang. At this point, Elle, I'm supposed to welcome you to our family. But honestly, you've been part of this for years. Over time, I've seen two students transition into strong adults who complement each other so well. Elle, I know how much you love Jasmine, and for me, you are the perfect broom. Broom. I'm supposed to offer you some advice, but I don't need to do that. All you need to know is that Millie has got your back. I'd like to welcome Merm and Dard and Lucy to our now double-barrelled, blended family and look forward to many, many, many fun family antics with you. Finally, I'd just like to ask you to raise your glasses to a toast. So, here's to the past for what you've learnt, here's to the present for all that you share today, and the future that you have to look forward to Jazz and Elle.
I'm already crying. Too much. So for anyone that doesn't know me here, I'm Megan, close friend and long-standing third wheel of the happy couple. Jazz and I have been friends for over 20 years, which is really quite surprising when you consider that there was once a time where Jazz thought that it was all over for us. Ooh. To highlight the depths of our friendship, I thought it might be nice to share some of Jazz's own words with you all today. From a letter that she may not even remember writing, aged 13. I'm not exaggerating when I say that the 2009 change in school form sets, where Jazz and I were separated, was earth-shattering stuff. I won't go into the details now, much to Jazz's relief, probably. We'll discuss it later. But Jazz was truly heartbroken. Her bestie ripped away from her in a matter of seconds, a direct quote,
Jazz describes herself as grieving our friendship, and then goes on to say, somewhat offensively, Megan, I want you to know that even if you forget our friendship, I won't. I think it's safe to say that we exceeded Teen Jazz's expectations by a long way. If only she knew what the future would hold and where we'd be today. I am so honoured to be here speaking at your wedding, having overcome such an overwhelming obstacle. Now, a lot of people say that you should marry your best friend, but no one really tells you what to do when your best friends marry each other. Jazz, you are one of my oldest and dearest friends, and for one of your best friends to find happiness and companionship in an incredible human being like Elle is everything. But to find a best friend in Elle as well feels like winning the lottery, and it is something that I will forever be grateful for. Oh God, how did anyone do this? This, of course, shouldn't come as a surprise. Wherever Jazz goes, as much as she might deny it, she forms friendships with the most wonderful people. In being so fiercely herself, she brings others joy and hope, and you cannot help but feel at home in her presence. And Elle, where do I even begin? It's been 7 years, but I cannot remember a time before knowing you. You may often refer to yourself as a dickhead. Yes, you do. But you are far, far from it. You are genuine, honest, loyal, and you are always there for the people that you care about, providing exactly the support that's needed, whether that's comedic relief or a 10-page action plan and risk assessment. Together, this couple are a force to be reckoned with. You are so effortlessly well-suited to a life together. Partners in business, partners in creating queer magic, and partners in parenting those balls of fur that you call cats. A sweet tooth and a savoury snack fiend. Two opposite ends of the spectrum of risk, balancing out in the middle. You bring the best out of each other and the best out of the people closest to you. Together, you have somewhat dashed my own relationship hopes. Not least because after 5 years of calling Jazz our third wheel, Elle, you've married each other anyway. Although you do believe that Jazz is Jesus waiting to be rebirthed, so how could anyone else compete? All jokes aside, the bar is now set, and what a high bar it is. Okay. It's because of you both. It's because of you both that I know what love truly looks like. The anticipation of each other's needs and the small, thoughtful gestures carry so much weight. The care, understanding, and respect that you have for one another, even in your disagreements, is plain to see. It's because of you both that I know what love truly feels like. If my comfort zone were a physical place, it would be wherever you are. Your company feels like home, where you're guaranteed an outstanding cup of tea and some soul-nourishing laughter, usually followed by some form of manual labour. To be considered your friend is something I cherish with my whole heart, and the love I have for you both is beyond words. I wish you both a love that lasts a lifetime. I cannot wait to see the weird and wonderful adventures and business ventures that you embark on together. And most importantly, I want you to know that even if you forget our friendship, I won't.
We're going to count down. Cut the cake. Ready? 5.
Okay, we're going to count down. 10.
All right.
9.
Okay.
8. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I hate it when you try to chase me, but I love it when you try to save me, 'cause I'm just a lady. I love it when we play 1950. It's so cold that your stare's about to kill me. I'm surprised when you kiss me. So tell me why my guys look like you, and tell me why it's wrong. So away from you, I pray I will keep on waiting for your love. For you, I wait. I will keep on waiting for you.
I've had 3 Prosecco's and apparently that's enough to quote Stefanel's, make very sexy photos.
Okay, thank you all for being here. We can't believe that we've managed to somehow fill our lives with such generous, funny and thoughtful people.
We wanted to say some massive thank you to the people in the room, and we've tried to really encompass everyone in this, so do bear with us, it might take a little while. So first of all, Myrmidard, thank you for not only opening your home and heart up to Jasmine, but to so many people sat in the room. I'm looking at the 3 that just lived there. You are really, really just the people's parents. You're Myrmidard to everyone, and I hope that Jazz and I can always have an open door policy as strong as yours.
Sheena. To me, Sheena, who to me is Mama, thank you for showing me what unconditional love looks like. Mother of the bride feels very ordinary for someone so full of life, love and generosity. You're so much more than my mother. You're the perfect parent, a devoted best friend, and a silly third twin. You're my constant and my safety blanket. Thank you for being you. Darren, thank you for showing me what it takes to love such a devoted and unique woman. And thank you for making me cry for the first time on my wedding day with your post earlier. You are family to me. And Granny, thank you for gifting me and Mills with the best childhood memories with Grandad. Thank you all for welcoming Elle into our family.
Lucy, thank you for embracing Jazz as a sister and keeping me on my toes for the last 28 years. And everyone in this room. Thank you to Dave for making Lucy as happy as Jazz does me as well.
All the claps.
No pressure, Dave.
You got this. Is it about me?
Millie. I'm going to ad-lib for this part because no words could come out of my brain at that time when I was writing this, but people say that you have to find your other half. And I already have mine in you. So everything I have in Elle is an amazing bonus to my life. So thank you for being my safety net, for always seeing me and doing life by my side since day one. You've also made Elle feel like part of the twinhood And a huge thank you to you for bringing the incredible Gould into our lives as well.
Oh God. To my bridesmaids, my broomsmaids, Hayley, Chizzy, Poppy, thank you for allowing me to wear check shirts and jeans when you painted the town red. Aged 28, we've been through it all. We have sat around the Upshaw dinner table after way too many funerals, but today we'll sit round a table celebrating the way we really deserve.
Yep.
This is so hard.
To my girlies, my bridesmaids, Megan, Courtney and Leisha, thank you for showing me what lifelong friendship feels like. It feels like belly laughs and bursting hearts, simple sofa nights and real talk. I love you so much. That's me again. God, this was meant to be about 2 minutes long. To Queer Ganger, aka the gays that we never knew we needed, thank you for teaching us so much, for becoming our chosen family, and for showing us what it feels like to find our people.
Even if one day we do all swap wives, you know who you are. To the friends we found under the stars and in camping fields, Steph, Els, Cece, Lania, Bewan. There's more of you. Hannah, Jordan and Jim, thank you for opening up with us as if we'd known each other a lifetime. We'll see you by the campfire outside tonight, yeah?
To the people who saw us become Jazz and Elle, nay, Claire and Hayley, thank you for being the silliest friends we could have found at uni and for helping us build the amazing foundations of our relationship.
And thank you for indulging us every Saturday night watching Britain's Got Talent while others were out snorting coke.
I tried so hard to take that out of the speech. It wasn't going anywhere. Okay. Dol, Walter, you're looking sus over there, mate. Stan and Ellie, despite being so many miles away, thank you for being there as my big brother and my big sister. Thank you for the iconic, sometimes sick-filled, silly nights in Falmouth. And thank you for being so strong. You hold this siblinghood together, and we love you.
Also, thank you to all of those from me as well for giving Jazz the communist streak that she has, so that I can always play devil's advocate against it. It's really helped our relationship.
Straubs, where are Straubs? Hi, Straubs. Oh, thank you for keeping Sheena's chaotic energy alive. And thank you for being there. And thank you for being there with your incredible sweet treats at every occasion, including today.
My best friend!
Yeah. Amy and James, thank you so much for trusting us to be part of the gorgeous Luna's life. We don't deserve you. You've made our queer dreams come true with a rainbow macaron tower as well. So thank you very much, Luna.
To my 4,000 godparents. We are gathered here today. This is my baptism as well. Turns out we actually, looking at that entire table, only 2 of them are actually officially my godparents. They did such a shit job with Lucy that they all got demoted by the time I was born. It's hard to do well with Lucy. But to my 4,000 godparents and co, thanks for embracing me for who I am since I was wearing all of the camo everything. And for ultimately, and there's a few of you who would know who you are at the table, putting the camp in campfire.
So as Dad said, there's a few very important people that can't be with us today. My dad, Elle's granny, and my granny Hazel. I would love us all to raise a glass to those people and thank them for sending their love from afar today. We're missing you. So finally, to my wife. Gosh, thank you for bringing these amazing people into my life. I knew that I had found a home that first night I was in Wanner's Down kitchen.
After another funeral.
I can't wait to do the rest of our lives together.
And to my wife, thank you for being the only reason this lot have not cancelled me. You are a grounding force in my life, and everyone's here. Oh, and everyone's here, apparently. Is she? Can we confirm? Is she a grounding force in your life? Thank you. You are a grounding force in my life, and everyone's here. And I can't wait to spend the rest of our lives full of vans, queers, friends, and cats. Here's to us.
Wow, honestly, I think we can probably all agree what an amazing day this has been. As Baker said, I met Ellie and Jazz way back in university. So I like to think that I've been there from the very beginning. And tonight, I'd like to take you all back there with me, if that's okay. I think we can agree that Ellie and Jazz are a fantastic example of why love is love, and you cannot choose who you fall in love with. There are many reasons. I would choose not to fall in love with Ellie. Reason number 1. Ellie, as has been mentioned today, takes bargain hunting far too seriously. Now, one day, Ellie came home with a 6-foot German beer bench, turned to Jazz and said, "Oh, it's only a tenner." Reason number 2. Ellie's so fiercely competitive to the point where fun is completely removed. Now, within about 2 minutes of meeting them at university, when people were having shots, down in pints, etc., Ellie turned to me and said, "You played Linky before?" And genuinely could not believe I'd never heard of it. And reason number 3, Ellie, as I am sure everyone knows, is the most stubborn person you will ever meet. Now, Ellie did a puzzle with my flatmate and I, and my flatmate put the last piece in the puzzle. Ellie never spoke to them again. Equally, there are so many reasons I wouldn't fall in love with Jazz. Jazz, despite being one of the most intelligent people you will ever meet in your life, is so silly. And also, one of the most embarrassing people you'll ever meet. Ever. And for this story, I want to take you back to a place called Victoria Road in Leeds. This is where you could say that they fell in love. Now, Louise earlier took you through some of Jazz's relentless efforts to win Ellie over, but actually she missed out a really big story earlier, which some of you in the room probably know. Now, Victoria Road is a street in Leeds, which was Jazz's second year house at uni, and it's where their love really started to blossom. Now, this particular night, Jazz's house were having a house party. And usually when people like each other, they kiss, tell each other they like each other, they might flirt. But what Jazz did this night is in front of 70 people plus, as Ellie walked away from the house, shouted down the street, "I wore my white thong for you." Ultimately, the serious bit now, even though Ellie and Jazz are a good example of why you cannot choose who you fall in love with, they're a really good example of why that doesn't really matter. So what does matter is the queer campfire, the amazing business, it's been mentioned lots tonight, that Ellie and Jazz have started for queer people to meet each other, being the best parents they can to Gussie and Vinny, and looking after each other every single day. And importantly, I think we can all agree, wearing pants that aren't white.
If you be my bodyguard, I can be your long lost pal. I can call you Betty, Betty when you call me out, call me na 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 na.
Saying that you can't choose who you fall in love with, and they'd pick each other even still. They've got an artist that they love called Grace Petrie, who has come up so much today, and they love a song called Black Tie, and I promise you this wasn't planned, but you'll all be familiar after Ellie's entrance. And Grace Petrie says, "I swear there'll come a day where you won't worry about what they say. On the labels, on the doors, you'll figure out what's yours." And Jazz and Ellie, you figured out what's yours. So I'd like everyone now to raise your glass for me, please, to figuring out what's yours.
Well, it's a jungle out there. The year 2018, I didn't think we'd still be sorting babies into blue and pink. And all our progress, well, I wonder what it means. That the only girls' clothes that work for me turn out to be boyfriend jeans. Well, that's fine, 'cause I decline a narrow set of rules that just don't work. 'Cause these red lines, well, they're not mine. And if you need me, you can find me ironing my shirt, 'cause I'm in black tie tonight. Get a postcard to mine. 11 self in a year 11 hell, saying everything's gonna be alright. No, you won't grow out of it. You will find clothes that fit, and the images that fucked you were a patriarchal structure, and you never will surrender to a narrow view of gender. And I swear there'll come a day when you won't worry what they say on the labels, on the doors. You will figure out what's yours. And it's a bloody nightmare, trying to fight the spread of bigotry and fear that's uniting Piers Morgan and Jermaine Greer and all our progress. Yeah, I wonder who it's for. When I dared to utter that trans lives matter here, and all I got was a turf war. Well, that's fine, 'cause I decline. Your narrow set of rules, they just don't work. These red lines, well, they're not mine. And if you need me, you can find me ironing my shirt, 'cause I'm in black tie tonight. Get a postcard to mine. Year 11 self in a year 11 hell, saying everything's gonna be alright. No, you won't grow out of it. You will find the clothes that fit, and the images that fucked you were a patriarchal structure, and you never will surrender to a narrow view of gender. And I swear there'll come a day when you won't worry what they say on the labels, on the doors. You will figure out what's yours. And girl, you're gonna be so happy. And girl, you're gonna be just fine. And girl, you're gonna be so happy. Down the line, down the line.
In the words of Moira Rose, the star of Schitt's Creek, we are gathered here today to celebrate the love of these two people whose lives were obsessively brought together by fateful butterfly wings. It's hard to understand why these things happen as they do. Our lives are like little baby crows, carried upon a curious wind, and all we can do is wish for that wind to place us on solid ground. And it has done this for our families in this small town in the middle of nowhere. No, I'm joking, that's not the reading. She deserved a mention. She deserved a mention. The reading is, I'd rather rise in love with you. I can't pronounce the name of the person. I don't want sweet nothings whispered in my ears. I'd rather be confronted by the savoury somethings that truths communicated in fullness and compassion bring. I don't want long gazes or to get lost in your eyes. I'd rather have our eyes brave exploration, discovering every part of each other. I don't want to feel I knew you in another life or that I dreamed you in my sleep. I'd rather learn you piece by piece in reality. I'd rather you teach me how the you today is better than the one before. And I want my new self to love you more as I love me more. I don't want to be attached or taken or spoken for. I don't want to make each other whole. I'd rather be two whole beings, mind, body, and soul. Love to me is a choice. You wake up every day and you choose. You choose what you want and what you need. And to keep love growing, it's more than the showings. It's the clarity and communication. It's the calm and the patience, past frustrations. It's the listening and the stillness. It's every message
from body to breath. I don't want to fall for you or fall in love. Falling is falseness, it's fleeting. I'd rather rise in love with you in a session with fear and apprehension. I don't want to sacrifice any part of me to make it work. I want to invest in all of me and all of you and give gratitude that we empower one another in self-worth. I don't want to be possession or bound by love. I'd rather be liberated in loving. I'd rather be love that is revolutionary, love that is patience and presence, and respect and pride and honesty. Sorry. No, I'm really nearly there. No. Nothing to hide, and attraction, and joy, and truth. In everything we say, we show, and we do. In love with you is all of this to me, and there is no place I would rather be.
Closer, closer. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. This isn't me, is it? Okay. Darling, later.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Career Campfire 2020.